Symbols on a field of visions, behind the curtain of sleeping eyes, on the instant of waking, you can join us in discussing the Rush song, Nocturne.
Hello. 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 Every Rush song.
Jay, Tim, do y'all like Nocturne?
I do, yes.
Yeah.
I think it's a fine song.
I don't hear much about it out there in the.
It's not in my top 5. It wasn't a song that they ever played live, but it's a good song.
Okay.
You know,
I never hear anyone talk about it, and I grew to like it a lot, listening to it, and think it's highly underrated.
Well, I would just like to point out the elephant in the room, or sorry, the Alex Van Halen in the room. You notice the beginning of this song sounds strikingly familiar, not exact, of course, but familiar, similar to the beginning of "Everybody Wants Some" from Van Halen's "Women and Children."
I want some too. Yeah.
Everybody wants some. I want some too. I thought that was kind of cool.
That is cool. Reminds me of that movie. All right, I'm going to play, what was the movie? Better Off Dead. All right, here is how the part of it goes. It sounds like this.
Did I have a dream, or did the dream have me? Did I have a dream, or did the dream have me? Set off on a night sea journey without memory or desire.
And the fade fades out.
Did I have the dream, or did the dream have me?
boy, that's deep right there.
Yeah, it really is.
It is.
Or is it? Yes, it is. Is it? Yeah, it is.
And then what does he mean by that? To me, it means that dream. And it seems like all of my dreams, the dream had me, regardless if it was a bad dream or a good dream.
Right.
It had me.
You had me at dream.
And I guess maybe you could say with Neil when you know the reminder of loss. So no matter if he's awake or he's asleep, sometimes he's having a hard time distinguishing between the two. So is this really happening, or is this a dream? Did I have the dream, or did the dream have me? That's kind of what I took from it.
Oh, I didn't look at it that way.
Yeah,
Nice.
but what I know. And I know that Geddy Lee
Plenty.
said, according to Geddy Lee, it's kind of about the questions you subconsciously answer in your dreams without realizing it. Now, according to me, it's about 4 minutes and 49 seconds long.
The world according to Jay.
Yep,
The
world according to Jay.
Huh. Yeah, very interesting. So, gentlemen, when you hear that title, or let's just say that word, Nocturne, what comes to mind?
Emissions?
Nocturnal.
Like bats?
Right.
Bats.
Creatures that live in the night.
Ooh.
Well, I take it also, since this is a song about, in music, a nocturne is a short composition of like a romance or kind of dreamy character, suggestive of night.
I'm just going to call you Oxford Jay.
Just call me Oxford Jay.
Tell me,
says here that
if you don't mind me dropping a little F-bomb here, tell me what you think about this thing. I don't know what to call this. Anyway, this is what it reminded me of. This is what I thought of.
Well, this happens to be a nocturne. Which? You know, Frederick fucking Chopin.
The great Val Kilmer
Was
as
that
Doc Holliday.
was that loud enough?
I could hear it. It was not super loud, but I could hear it.
All right. If it's not loud enough, I'll just delete that part. But yeah, it reminded me of that. It's one of my
I
favorite
have to admit
lines.
something right now.
Yes.
I don't know if I've watched Tombstone from beginning to
Oh.
end.
We'd like to thank you for watching us on this episode.
Sorry.
The final episode of Every Rush Song with Tim, who I'm sure Jay will agree has now been sacked.
I have to tell you, Tim, if you get a chance, you should, because I think it's Val Kilmer's best work. His Doc Holliday is just, he's just.
I think Iceman might have something to say about that.
Mhm. So you saw
Mhm.
that one all the way through, but you didn't see Tombstone all the way
Or-
through. So how would you know?
Or the Lizard King.
Or the Lizard King?
Yeah. Or Batman.
Mm,
Yeah. All these
mm.
characters are not as, I don't know. He just brought this coolness to that part, and he was funny.
I mean, I know I'll
Why,
be
but
your
Tim,
Huckleberry.
are we being cross with the? I'd hate to think we're being cross with each other.
All right. I
Ah.
promise you guys and the nation of Every Rush Song, I will watch Tombstone from beginning to end.
I'm proud of you.
Well, here are my notes about the song Nocturne. And Jay, thank you. I was hoping to bring up the point about what a musical piece called a nocturne is. Appreciate
Yes.
that.
I
My
like that.
notes. It's a little about the freedom you feel in dreams, a little about what you can learn in your dreams and from your dreams, maybe a little dream within a dream in the song. And no good
Mm.
discussion about dreams is complete without wondering which world is the real one. That's
Hey,
all
can
the
I-
fun of dreams, and Neil did a fantastic job of capturing it in these words. Yes, Jay. Sorry.
Okay, I like that. I was just going to ask you. You said you couldn't read your own writing. Did
I
you
typed
actually handwrite that or type it?
No, I typed it, but it's got all these red squiggly lines all over it, and
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know what those mean.
Yeah.
That's weird. I like
Um,
I like that. That's a great observation. Tim, what do you think?
Yes.
Okay, so I think this has been a fantastic episode.
what? Because I kept changing that because I kept reading through the lyrics and then finding something else and then finding something else, and so I tried to shorten it down because then I thought, you know what, we can just go through the words and let them speak for themselves.
As words tend to do.
Yeah, words just say things. Did I have a dream or did the dream have me? Like Tim said at the beginning, that's cool, deep question. Who is in control? What is real? Was the dream just a freeing experience, or was it unraveling of unconscious thoughts? Or was it something that Neil had to do?
Yes.
All of the above?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all in there. It's all in there.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Set off on a night sea journey. So this tells me that the dream is an escape. The sea indicates drifting, like, you're floating on a boat and it's relaxing. So this kind of tells me the song is going to be more free and easy than the reality, especially when you're considering
You're
the
going with
reality.
you're going where the water takes you, where the sea takes you.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because, I mean, except for modern day ships, the sea is in control. The wind is in control. You can do your best to steer it, but at the same time, if the sea gets angry, and the sea was angry that day, my friends, you don't have a lot of control.
Sea's going to win.
I mean, right, yeah, before you know it, the weather started getting rough, your tiny ship would be tossed.
Right.
Yeah, man. Have courage, fearless crew. Have courage.
Yeah.
Without memory or desire. So it's an escape from real life and everything else that he wants or doesn't want. Just kind of an acceptance of freedom.
Yeah.
Drifting through lost latitudes. Oh, yes, Jay.
Yeah. I mean, he's literally, that's exactly what he's doing. Drifting.
And then when we get there, the music kind of has that dreamy feel to it
Right. Yeah.
too with that.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll point that out again when we're listening to it.
Mhm.
Drifting through lost latitudes. So latitudes has two meanings, right? One is the direction on a map, the latitude lines going from the equator up to the poles. And then sometimes a higher latitude is associated with a higher, like going north is associated with a higher attitude or a higher altitude also. Kind of like the Jimmy Buffett song. What's it about?
Changes in latitude, changes in
Yes.
attitude. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Jimmy
I
Buffett.
can't believe I knew that.
I'm sure. Well, I'm sure he listens. So
You
it's
are
just
Oxford
a shout out.
J.
I am
So,
Oxford J.
but
Not
latitude also.
Thesaurus J, but Oxford J. What are words, really?
What are words? I'll be the Thesaurus
Mm.
Rex. The latitude also means freedom, such as I appreciate the latitude you give me in going way off on these tangents with these lyrics. Appreciate the
Mm.
latitude. And then this is one of those parts where Neil slightly changes the lyrics. And so we'll come back to that lost latitudes part again in the second verse. With no compass and no chart. So that freedom of wandering, he doesn't know where he's going and he doesn't care, doesn't have to know because this is awesome. He doesn't need you to be the captain for him to draw the chart.
He's just out there on the road, being that ghost rider, just taking the road where the road takes him, or in this case, the sea wherever the sea takes him. No charts, no compass, just wherever I go, I go.
Which is against one of his most famous lyrics. I will be the captain and you can draw the chart. Sailing into destiny, closer to the heart.
Closer to the heart.
Another reference to the chart.
Good point.
Flying through hallucination, which is an interesting word choice because he's not having an hallucination, he's flying through one. So
Yeah.
that was cool. Kind of that sort of flying, drifting thing through dreams. Okay, now the next line. Whenever I'd listened to it, I always said distant voices signal fires. Like he hears a voice up in the distance saying, "Hey, there's a fire here. There's a fire here." But when you look at the lyrics, there's a comma there.
Now,
So he's talking about
exactly.
two
There's a
things.
comma. So it's distant voices, comma, signal fires.
Yeah.
So, right.
So yeah, the distant voices that are far away, but obviously have something significant or symbolic to say. And then signal fires, which is a fire that you set and you let it burn as a signal, like a beacon. I don't know if necessarily a smoke signal, but something you set off to say, "Hey, here's a fire. We're here." Or maybe you can write out "help me" on the logs and set that on the beach if you're ever stranded on a desert island.
Or a desert island. I mean,
Yeah. Oh, desert island. That'd be a good name for a cooking show. Desert island. Lighting up my unconsciousness. These fires, these beacons are lighting up the places that he can't or doesn't otherwise see. And they're illuminating these dark places, maybe in his subconsciousness or somewhere, and acting as beacons to draw him to those places. These secret places of the heart, which not just new territories in his mind or his unconsciousness,
territories,
but places also in his heart. Man, we got to talk about territory sometime.
We've done that.
Oh, I guess we
Oh,
did,
yeah.
didn't we?
That was our longest episode, territories. Interesting.
Was it?
Yeah. Dream a voice in the wilderness, dream unconscious revelations. So this is when this is another me where he changes the verse a little bit when he gets to, the chorus a little bit. On the second time, he'll change this. The first chorus is a voice from this unknown place, the wilderness, revealing unknown things to him, things that he didn't know were in his subconscious. Floating through a darkened mirror, deep reflections in disguise. So, have you ever had a dream and then you
No.
wake up
Oh.
and you're going, what the hell did I just dream? What kind of sicko am I? Where did that come from? Have you ever had one of those dreams?
No,
No.
not really.
Yeah. Me neither. I just read it on the internet somewhere that some people did that and that it was okay if you did that. It didn't mean you're any kind of sicko, but sometimes that
But I have
happens.
definitely had the dreams where you can't believe that you were just dreaming because you thought it was so real. You woke up and you're like, okay, did that really happen or was I just dreaming?
Oh yeah,
Did I have the dream or did the dream have me?
Ah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then there's the dreams, and then maybe ones like that where you wake up and it felt so real that you're still carrying all those feelings.
Feelings.
If you
yeah,
like whatever
yeah,
was going on,
absolutely.
you're still experiencing that even after you wake up.
Yeah,
Wow.
absolutely.
I didn't think
It's
about
like when you
that.
have a bad dream. I mean,
Yeah,
you think about it, and
right. I pause. I had a dream.
Oh, pause the button. Sorry.
Yes. This was like a week after. Yeah, we had gone to drum corps camp at UTA Arlington.
Ooh, my alma mater.
And I had a dream that my parents were dropping me off right there in the middle of Cooper, right next, not even at the right spot, but it was because it was blue skies. I remember blue skies, but there was a tornado warning and the tornado was coming our way. So my parents thought, let's drop him off where he was at drum camp. But they didn't really know where it was. So they were trying to drop me off right there on Cooper Street, and the tornado was coming. Blue skies still. I still remembered the blue skies. I don't ever remember seeing the tornado. I remember now, here's the deal. This was late 80s something. Okay. The car that we were in was our 1970 something station wagon that we hadn't owned for probably 10, 12 years. But that's what they were dropping me off. And I got out and the tornado had started to lift me up off the ground. And so like I was like flying like Superman, but just slowly floating up in the air. And like this happened 5 minutes ago. My mom was reaching out from the passenger side, trying to grab me as I just went, and I woke up and I was freaked out by the thing. It's like I could still feel the floating sensation.
yeah.
And like a few hours later, somebody we all know very good, Jay Mitchell, had come over, and I'm telling my parents again and Jay, John, James,
Jingle hangers.
about this dream, and it's like I could still feel that whole sensation.
Yeah.
It's weird. I had one of those kind of dreams, and I'm telling you right now, apparently that dream had me.
There you go.
Oh,
And
wow.
full circle right there, folks.
Boom.
So
Bringing it home. Took a long way around, but
Breaking
I
it back.
scored. I
Bringing it
got
back
scored.
to
there.
the dream. Yeah, bringing it back to the song. Bringing it back to the song.
I didn't run
Feeling
just to
good.
first base. I ran all the way straight out to out right field,
Outer
and
out.
then went to second. Went all the way out to out center field. Climbed up over the fence. Had a hot dog in the stands. Then moonwalked to third,
Yeah.
and then crab walked into home. But I scored.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what were you thinking you could catch your own pop fly and then hot dog?
No, that's not at all.
Now, I've had tornado dreams. I've had plenty of those. Not one picking me up per se, but I've also had the flying dreams where like you're going somewhere and you're running and you like jump off a cliff or something, but you keep your feet moving like you're still running, and for somehow you're staying afloat and you're actually floating
But
through the air.
But are you also thinking to yourself, oh, dear God, how am I going to keep control? I'm
Yeah,
not a
you're like,
bird. Yeah,
I'm like,
you're
this
doing
is
it.
this
But
is so
yeah,
cool, but I am screwed if I don't stop moving my feet, and my feet are getting tired, or my legs,
Your feet legs.
feet
You know,
legs.
side note, Jay and I have had some pretty interesting dream conversations on our other podcast, Spirit Thursday.
It's true.
The
yes.
one where you can't find the toilet. If you drove bad and you can't find the toilet. The one where you
Yes.
can't dial on a cell phone. Yeah.
Oh, by the
time.
way, I
times.
had a dream the other night, Shayne. You mentioned the one where you mentioned that your daughter had said that you can't read something in a dream or
Yeah.
something to that effect. I had a dream and I was trying to read something, knowing that, thinking, okay, if I'm in a dream, I'm not going to be able to read this. And I couldn't read it.
Huh. So was it lucid? Like, did you know you were dreaming? Or you
I
just
knew I was dreaming, but then I wasn't sure I was dreaming. And I was trying to test myself. Okay, if I'm dreaming, I'm not going to be able to read this.
And I think I told you on Beer Thursday that for a while she was doing these literal reality checks like that, where she would look at her watch to see if she could see, the watch face. And like you did, you were
Yeah.
looking at this, seeing if you could see the word staying. I think you can do that with watches and clocks, or you can do these. And then the idea is you get in the habit of doing these reality checks so that sometime you're in a dream, you do the reality check and go, oh, wow, this is a dream.
Yeah.
I have 25 fingers.
Well, and I could see a few words, like I could make out a word or two, but nothing that would make any sense. I couldn't like read an entire sentence.
Very cool.
Then I've had those dreams where you're singing this song, and
Naked?
for naked, and for a fact that it is
Which
not
is
a
Tim
song
streams.
that you don't know, for a fact it's not a song that has ever existed before. You're like, okay, I'm making this up as I go along, and this is pretty good, but then you wake up and you forget it. I wish there was an alarm you could set in your dream so you wake up and write down your
You need a journal that you write in
Yeah.
your sleep, and then it's there when you
sort of a
wake up.
dream journal.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Have you ever, because I still have the same dream, or it's always the same place and same scenario. Not all the actions are exactly the same. Shayne, you'll
Mhm.
probably remember this better than Jay. Jay, maybe you remember this. I mean, I'm sure you do. But remember back when Highway 157 between Pipeline going into Arlington, and there was nothing out there,
Nothing.
and
Yeah.
157 was just a 2-lane road.
Yep.
There was no street lights. All you had was the city dump on one side. And
And this was pre Baby Dolls and
no, Baby
Cool.
Dolls was still there, but in my dream, this always happened further away because
Yeah.
like baby dolls, you're sort of going downhill on
Yes,
that
you
road,
are.
and then
There's
you would
there's showcase or
right,
something like that, and then there's baby
yeah,
dolls. Yeah.
Farther downhill.
and then the road would flatten out. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, as from a little kid, I would always have dreams that I was having to walk down that road by myself, and on each side of the road, it was swampy. It was um, fields of hot molten lava. There was all sorts of creatures and alligators and snakes.
Why did it have to
And
be snakes?
and why did it have to be snakes? And I would have to try to, I knew that if I could just get to the Trinity River Bridge, shortly after that, I would start to see lights and stuff and that
You're
I
home
would be
free.
safe. But
Yeah.
my whole journey there, I'm always dodging things.
Yeah.
The snake, the sea creature, Godzilla, Sasquatch.
The Walking Dead coming out of Callaway Cemetery. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Haystack.
And I bet you I have that dream scenario at least once a year.
Wow.
I still do. And I don't know I don't know why. That's why I like the first line in the chorus. Dream temporary madness. I think that's all of my dreams.
Yeah.
With a
Yeah.
little bit of the voice in the wilderness, and the wilderness isn't always a forest,
Right.
No.
The wilderness could be anything.
right? Exactly. So,
Or any place.
that's it. And I have that. I have that dream all the time.
Tim,
It's interesting.
And what's so weird is that 157, it's 4 lanes now.
Wow. I haven't been down that way in a while.
They've got condos and apartments and little mini shopping strips on one side down there. The whole thing is just lighted up.
Wow.
Yeah.
and you know what? And they might have improved it a little bit since then, but your dream's still pretty accurate. 157 it was a haunted road. It was
Pretty
haunted.
desolate.
That was. You weren't
And-
that
and-
far away from the Screaming Bridge.
Yeah, I was
you're
just gonna
not.
say, yeah. Yeah.
I may or may not have raced my Mustang up and down 157 a time or two.
Wow.
I was late for class, so
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to get there.
That would happen.
All right, so then we go from, all right, let me find where I was. We go from drifting through lost latitudes through soaring through lost altitudes. And that's where he does the slight change. So the first verse, he's drifting, and now he's drifting through higher places, I guess more north, right? Not altitude. Altitude's like the distance away from the earth, like higher you are versus latitude just being farther north. And so he's soaring higher and higher, more, not really literally because it's a dream, but soaring higher versus the more metaphorical north or higher latitude. And I like this because he's describing these new heights as lost, where usually when someone's talking about soaring to heights, it's getting to where they want to go. It's reaching the goal of getting more or something like that. But he's talking about these new heights as where he's lost. I thought that was interesting.
Or could it be in this particular dream that in this case, he wasn't just floating above the surface, he was in a flying dream, and he is so high up that in his dream, he can't even fathom how high up he is. Like he could be really close to orbit and looking down. Now, the one thing I disagree with, I don't care if I'm flying, I'm not doing that in a dream without wonder, without fear. No. I'm wondering what the hell is going on, and I'm scared out of my mind.
Yeah,
and
I
he can't
thought
wake up.
that's what my note said too, that it's a strange line without one because he's soaring higher and higher without I
Right.
guess that's the nice part of it being a dream. Didn't have to be afraid. And then I'm wondering too, because when you talk about adventure or traveling or going off into wilderness or unknown lands, it's usually with wonder, right? So I don't understand why this is without wonder.
Okay, what you're talking about is the real physical doing it.
Not
You know?
wander, but wonder.
Wonder, right.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. So if you're going to go take a trip to Zimbabwe, you've never been there
That's a
before,
good
and
idea.
you're actually going to go and you're going to go on a safari and you're going to be camping out, you've got wonder. But in a dream,
True. Yeah. Good point. Good point.
see, I don't think this song is at all about conscious reality. I think this song is all about dreams.
Yes. Yeah. Good point. Yeah, and I'm trying to make it
Good point.
good point.
Right. You're trying to bring it
I
to
was trying
real
so hard
life,
to get
man.
that.
Wake up.
No, don't wake up. Go
No,
to
right.
sleep.
Because
Dream.
yeah.
Unwake down.
See,
Wake down.
I'm going to agree with Tim on this, and that I think it's all about dreams.
I'm
But
hanging up. I'm hanging up.
I just to add, but you're questioning. Okay, this is a dream, or is it a dream? You know, hence, did I have the dream, or the dream have me? You're having a hard time distinguishing from reality, but you're just kind of letting the dream happen. And I had a point there because I've been told that it's always good to have a point. It makes the conversation so much more interesting for the listener.
Yes.
But what are you
A
gonna
very
do?
wise man once said that.
A very wise man.
Yes.
What was that man's name?
That, and he was a hell of a banjo. Oh no, he is a hell of a banjo player.
Is a hell of a banjo player.
And the
That's
way
right.
and he survived that injury and was able to live the rest of his life with that arrow stuck through his head. That's
It's
Right.
amazing.
that
It's
kind of
amazing.
perseverance doesn't
Which,
happen
you know,
every
he
day.
is a wild and wacky guy.
Also a Texan.
Yes.
Yeah. Born in Waco,
Absolutely.
Texas.
And I don't care what you say. I don't think he's a jerk whatsoever.
Nah. No, he's not.
And when he's with
not.
this other guy and this other guy, they are definitely three amigos.
Every Steve Martin.
No.
Do I just wait here then?